The person that you need to be focusing on is yourself in terms of who you can control. Your actions, your thoughts, your beliefs. But if you're trying to change people, if you have a controlling environment or you're a controlling leader, you're trying to have your hands in every little thing that you can, or you're controlling in your relationship, man, that's exhausting. And it's going to stop you from becoming the person that you need to be. You have to let go of the control. Hey everybody, welcome back to Momentum Monday podcast. My name is Steve Holbrook. I'm super excited for today's episode. Look, you got to let go to reclaim your life. There's so many people that are stuck in the past. There's people listening to this right now that are obsessed with things that happen in the future. And they're carrying heavy bags, like heavy weights around day in and day out and day in and day out. And it's impeding them from going far in all areas of their life. I want to talk to you today about the power of letting go. If you're the kind of person that's saying, you know what, I'm ready to move forward, I'm no longer willing to be stuck in the past, then this episode is for you. I'm going to give you 10 ideas around the power of letting go. Each one of these ideas is separate from the other, but 10 things to think about. And I could do a podcast on each one of these 10. But for sake of time, right, you guys wouldn't probably enjoy a 19-hour podcast, but here we go. 10 ideas around the power of letting go. Number 1, don't take things so personally. Don't take things so personally. Hey, guess what? Everything's not about you. It's not about you. Not everything needs to be good or bad. It just is what it is. If you're the person that's always getting hurt over this and over that, you're taking everything personally, you're always in a tiff, you're always in some kind of an argument, you're always in a heated exchange, why do you take everything so personally? You got to let go. You got to let go. Those kinds of people, they stay stuck and they can't move beyond themselves and they don't know why. It's because they're taking everything so personally. Very selfish. Number 2, you got to let go what others think about you. You got to let go about what others think about you. What other people think about you is none of your business. Here's the reality. Everybody around you, they're dealing with their own set of limiting beliefs. They're dealing with their own problems. Nobody's really thinking clearly anyway. Aren't we just all a little messed up? I mean, isn't that the truth? We're all screwed up a little bit. So it's their perception. It's their opinion. Forget about it. I'll tell you what, you think people are thinking about you way more than they actually are. What a selfish thought that is. For me to think that you're going to spend your time alone thinking about me in my life, chances are you're thinking about your own problems. And other people around you are thinking about their problems too. They're not really thinking about you as much as you think they are. And even if they were, it's none of your business. And it's none of mine. Number 3, turn regret into gratitude. Turn regret into gratitude. Listen, every decision that you have made, whether it was for better or for worse, has led you to who you are today. And who you are today is a wiser version, is a more experienced version, hopefully a stronger version, but it's definitely a more evolved version of you than yesterday. So it's easy to feel ashamed with decisions we made or should have made in the past, the choices, the mistakes that have happened years ago. Sometimes even the people that we hurt with our actions, with our words, people that we didn't mean to. We wallow in regret and guilt and shame. We carry all this with us because of the poor choices and mistakes that we made. Look, it's important to be grateful for what all those mistakes taught you. Because had you not gone for it, had you not made those mistakes, you wouldn't have had something to learn from. You can't change the past. You can't change it. So you have to figure out a way to leverage it for good. Yeah, man, I did some things in my past that I've regretted. I've said some things that I shouldn't have said. But you know what? I'm grateful for those moments because it gave me an opportunity to step up and apologize and learn and grow. And it's allowed me to get to this point today where I have a podcast that you're listening to. You got to turn regret into gratitude. It's the only option. Number 4, stop trying to be somebody you're not. Stop trying to be somebody you're not. Why live in chains when you have the key? You have the key. Don't live in the shackles and chains of somebody else's shadow. You don't need to be somebody else. You need to be free. You need to be free to be you. I want you to give yourself permission to be you. You know, early on in my career in business, I was always trying to be like other people. Always trying to be, as good as that person or as sharp as that woman. But I realized all those people started where I started at the very, very beginning. So at that moment, I just focused on becoming the best badass version of me. You want to know why? Because you are enough. You're already enough. You're just in a different chapter. You're a different season than the people that you're comparing yourself to. Stop trying to be somebody you're not and just be the best damn version of you. Number 5, let go of the need to be perfect. Let go of the need to be perfect. Listen, nobody's perfect. So if you're chasing perfection, you're always going to be miserable. A good friend of mine told me this a while ago. He said, listen, done is better than perfect. Done is better than perfect. It's never going to be perfect. And if you're a perfectionist, it's absolutely never going to be good enough for you. You just got to start to do. You're getting crippled. You might be getting paralyzed in perfection. It's not going to be perfect the first time anyway. And by the way, the first version of what you're trying to create is far from the final version. So let's get V1 out of the way so we can focus on V2 and V3, if you know what I'm saying. I get it though. I get it. You want everything to be the proper way. You want, you're putting your name behind something. You believe in what you stand for. I get it. I'm the same way. But it's never going to be perfect. You're just going to have to let go of that. It'll never be enough. Important to stay grounded in gratitude, especially for that reason. Number 6, this is a big one for me. This is one that I had to learn in business the hard way a few times, but let go of the idea that we can control other people. Let go of the idea that we can control other people. You can't control other people. You can't. The only person you can control is you. That's it. I get asked all the time, Steve, how do you motivate people? Listen, you can't motivate people. You can bring a horse to water. You can't force them to drink, but you can salt their oats and make them thirsty. That's all you can do. That's all you can do. The person that you need to be focusing on is yourself in terms of who you can control. Your actions, your thoughts, your beliefs. But if you're trying to change people, if you have a controlling environment or you're a controlling leader, you're trying to have your hands in every little thing that you can, or you're controlling in your relationship, man, that's exhausting. And it's going to stop you from becoming the person that you need to be. You have to let go of the control. And you really got to be spending time on only the things that you actually have control over. And when you do that, you're going to feel so free. It's such a freeing feeling. Trust me, you should try it. Number 7, we have to accept the things that we can't change. We have to accept the things that we can't change. For those of you that know me, know about 11 years ago, I had all my lower bowels taken out. My rectum, my colon, almost 8 feet of bowel. Now I have a permanent ileostomy. Man, I hated my ostomy for years and years. I hated the way I looked in the mirror. I hated it. I had no confidence. But you know what happened? I woke up one day and I said, this is never going away. This is never going to change. I'm going to die with my ostomy. So I might as well accept it. And I just let go. It was one of the hardest things that I ever had to do. But it was never going to change. There's certain things that you're battling with that they're just not going to change. So you have to let go. You have to. You got to find a way. Number 8, acknowledge the negative emotions. Acknowledge the negative emotions. It's okay to have negative emotions. Don't just push them away and box them up and push them deeper and deeper and deeper. Acknowledge your negative emotions. Write it down. Figure out what they are. How are you feeling? Put it on paper. And what my coach taught me to do is he'd always ask me to give it a shape. How are you feeling? Not great. Where do you feel it? I feel a pit in my stomach. Give it a color. Black. Give it a shape. Round. Acknowledge it. That's why you give it a color, you give it shape. You're acknowledging it. It's there. You're acknowledging it. And then you got to release it. You can't release it if you haven't acknowledged it. You can't just sweep it under the rug. You can't just pretend like nothing's happening. Get it down on paper and figure it out. And then make a plan to overcome it. Make a plan to win in spite. But you can't move through it if you aren't willing to acknowledge those negative emotions. Number 9, learn forgiveness. Learn forgiveness. Guys, this is huge. Just as you would wish somebody else to forgive you, you need to forgive other people. You know who it's hurting the most? It's hurting you. It's hurting you. You're the one that's holding on to it. You're the one that's thinking about it. You're the one that's hurt for what somebody else did to you months or years ago. They're not thinking about it nearly as much as you are. You have to let go. Who else is it affecting around you to be hanging on to these things? You're hanging on. It's affecting who you are. It's affecting your identity. And by not forgiving that person or that event, you're indirectly hurting the people around you that care about you. Number 10, my last point with regards to the power of letting go. Indulge in self-care. Indulge in self-care. If you really want to let go, if you really want to release all the negativity that has come to you and that is coming to you in the future, you need to indulge in self-care. You got to take care of yourself. You have to treat yourself the way that you treat other people. Spoil you. What are you doing for you? Do you have time blocked off just for you? I'm realizing this more and more. The bigger the life that I've asked for, the bigger the life that I'm getting. But with that comes me being pulled a lot of different directions. People start to want your time. People start to want your space. And if you don't prioritize you, you have a hard time letting go of all those things that we just talked about. Take care of yourself. Grow yourself. Love yourself. Work on yourself. Have a vision for yourself. And I'm telling you, it's going to make it a lot easier to let go of all the things that you need to move past. All right, you guys. Man, today was deep. Today was big. I hope you guys got some value. Listen, I have dozens of other podcasts on all the podcast platforms. I have dozens of YouTube videos. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe, like, comment, and go listen to more of it. Go binge. I got a message on the weekend from a gal. She listened to 9 or 10 podcasts in a row. Right? If you enjoys this stuff, go and get more value out of it. And you know where to find it. All the major podcast platforms. You can watch it on video, on YouTube. I appreciate you guys for listening. We'll see you next week.